Welcome to our latest Tales of Toastmasters episode, where tonight we are visiting Slovenia. Tonight we have with us three wonderful guests who have been part of Toastmasters in Slovenia for quite a while now. So thank you, Brigita, Katarina, and Andrej for your time, and welcome to Tales of Toastmasters. So I'd like to begin by asking each of you to introduce yourselves and to tell us a little bit about your time with Toastmasters. Brigita, would you like to go first?
Hello, and thank you, David, for inviting us into this interview. Well, I am a Toastmaster for 7 years now, and it's been quite an enjoyable journey. Because I work as a soft skills trainer, particularly the leadership and communication skills. And as you can imagine, the Toastmasters is like a perfect match to my initial business. But besides that, I really enjoy the Toastmasters because of the people and the community that we create here in the Slovenia.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Katarina, what about you and your time with Toastmasters?
Thank you, David. I have been in Toastmasters since 2018. I joined because I wanted to improve my communication and leadership skills. And since then, I have learned a lot in Toastmasters community. And at the moment, I am a president of Toastmasters Business Club Slovenia.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, Madam President. And Andrej, you as well. What about your time with Toastmasters?
Hey, David. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I've been a Toastmasters member for 3 years. Although I do like to say that I was present at the very first meeting ever that happened back in 2009. I guess Toastmasters didn't speak to me back then. But I really do see the amazing learning experience that this platform provides. If you want, I can even show a picture because it's a friend who started the Toastmasters to pay a bit of homage to how everything started in our club.
Wonderful. Is this a picture from yesteryear, from a while ago?
From way back then, yes.
Okay.
Just a second.
No problem. No problem. So you've all been Toastmasters for different lengths of time. Brigita, which club are you with? You're on mute there, Brigita. We didn't hear you there. Katarina, which club are you with? You said you're with the business club. You're the president of the business club. Excuse me. Yes, sorry. Brigita, are you in the same club? I know there's a couple of clubs.
Yes, there are 3 clubs in Slovenia. I am the member of 2 clubs. Business Club Slovenia and also the Toastmasters Club Ljubljana.
Okay, great. And so, Andrej, what are we seeing now? Has the screen share been able to work? Oh, you're on mute there, Andrej. 2 things at once, multitasking.
Okay, so
I'm lucky I don't have to put myself on mute. That's okay.
Yeah, this might be a very silent interview. Well, I'll see if it works this time.
Yeah, no problem.
Sure. Okay, so there. Do you see the picture?
Let's add that to the stream. Yes, we see that now. We see all of your files there. So maybe there's one in particular you want to share with us.
Okay. I clicked on one. I opened it. I'm not sure if you guys see it.
We see all of your pictures.
Okay, so this might not work.
All right, let's remove that just for privacy purposes. But obviously, if that's your club drive, or I think we were talking backstage before you mentioned. So, I mean, it looks like you have quite a few social events and gatherings. I even saw on the LinkedIn profile of, I think it was the business club, you've just had a Christmas gathering. Is that right?
That is correct. There are many events that happen, and we try to take pictures from all of them.
I see. Good. Well, and this kind of aligns to my next question, which was really about Toastmasters in Slovenia. So by the sound of it, there are 2 clubs. So when were they actually established, these 2 clubs? And what I'd like to ask is maybe as an homage to your friend, Andrej, so this person in particular, was it one person that brought Toastmasters to Slovenia or multiple people? Andrej, you tell us first.
Well, I checked the email today. It seemed to be from one friend, but I'm pretty sure there were a couple of friends who decided to start this in Ljubljana. They actually brought TED Talks as well. So it took me a while to realize how much of a change they brought to Slovenia in a matter of a year. So great guys. Yeah.
Amazing. So there's TEDx conferences now is it in Ljubljana or in other parts of Slovenia?
I think all over, but I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping in touch with them for a while.
I see. No problem. So when did Toastmasters come to Slovenia? Because now you're officially districted and part of District 109, which is a wonderful achievement, and we certainly welcome you to the district. But when did Toastmasters first come? Brigita or Katarina, who knows the answer there?
The first meeting was in 2009, as Andrej said, but official club started in 2011. That was the first club, Toastmasters Club Ljubljana, and then it was a bit crowded, a lot of members, and that's why we established another club, Toastmasters Business Club Slovenia, in 2019. But that's not all. We have third club, which is a corporate club. So it's kind of closed for the public. And it was established this year, so in 2021.
Wow, congratulations. In a pandemic time as well, to establish a corporate club is not an easy feat. So well done. And Andrej, I would like to ask you, what makes Toastmasters special or unique in Slovenia? So how would you describe the spirit of those clubs?
I would say that our clubs are very practical and our meetings are to the point. Because it took us a while before we officially joined Toastmasters International. But before that, our predecessors, they embraced and followed the structure of the meetings. So I would say that we bring our own twist, if you will, every now and then. So we have a good sense of what suits our clubs and maybe what we decide to tweak a bit to maybe make a change for the better.
Okay. Yeah, wonderful. I would probe you for an example if you can think of anything. But in the meantime, I ask Katarina, what languages do you speak in your clubs?
In our club, Toastmasters Business Club, we speak only English. In the other club, Toastmasters Ljubljana, they speak English and Slovenian. And the third club, corporate club, they speak only Slovenian language.
Okay, wonderful. So, and do you hold or have you held a Slovenian contest for international speech or other speeches in the past?
Usually all contests we had in English.
In English, yeah, to follow that. They do something very similar here in Austria, where I'm from, but we often then have the German language as well. And in one case, we had Hungarian. So we didn't get past area because there was no other competitors in the Hungarian language to compete, but certainly one or two from club to area, which was exciting. So yeah, multilingual, bilingual in some of your clubs, and certainly using both languages. And is there any? So it sounds like too you follow some of the conventions of Toastmasters, and then you look to create something new and exciting for those clubs. And if I was to come to one of your club meetings, how would you describe that spirit of the club, or what would the atmosphere be like? Do you think? I open it to anyone who would like, any of you who would like to answer about the spirit of the club, or your club even.
Well, since we follow the values of Toastmasters International, I believe it's not that different than the clubs worldwide. What I can point out is the this very strong friendship that was created within the club, among the members, and very, very supportive environment, which is one of the basics of Toastmasters. So, the friendship that lasts not only for the time of Toastmasters, but also outside the Toastmasters, and also some business relationships were born in Toastmasters as well.
Okay. That's exciting. And as president, Katarina, would you say that it's similar in your club, or do you have a different style?
Actually, I agree with Brigita. Energy in our clubs, in our club, is amazing. We support each other, we help each other, we are connected, and this is something that help us to grow and to learn together.
Yeah, nice. Growth, learning, friendship, support. I like that. Andrej, would you add anything as well to that mix in terms of the spirit of the clubs?
Yeah, it's. I think guests are pleasantly surprised whenever they visit our clubs because of the team spirit is there, the structure is there. It's. I think we're a very nice mix of lightheartedness, but also very much focused on growth.
Nice. Well, Slovenia and Austria are part of Division F. So I hope that at some point we will have the opportunity to mix and meet a little bit more together. So let me ask you now, who are some of the outstanding members in Slovenia? So Brigita, I noted in your email correspondence with me, I see that you're a DTM. Congratulations. When did you achieve your DTM?
I achieved DTM 2 years ago, after 5 years of hard work.
Yes.
And so far, I'm the only one DTM in Slovenia, but there are some members that are working, that are on the way to the DTM, and I'm really looking forward that they will join me.
Yeah.
However, I would really like to point out an outstanding member is Katarina Gavrič. She is one of the founding members. She was here from the beginning, from the very beginning of Toastmasters in Slovenia, and she is still with us, and she's a very valued member.
Wonderful. Yeah, so she started the first club and obviously seeing that growth as well. Yeah, wonderful. And so you've just chartered a third corporate club. Are there plans or expansion ideas you might share with us? As Slovenia, do you plan to have more clubs? Are there any growth cities or other places you could have a club? I open that to anybody who'd like to answer, or maybe you can't give the game away.
Well, at the moment, we have 3 clubs that are quite strong. However, our goal for the next year is increase the number of members. It's quite challenging right now to establish a new club, so we don't really plan a new club in a short term, but in a long term, we would definitely love to see another club outside of Ljubljana, because at the moment, all 3 clubs are in Ljubljana, the capital. We would really like to see the club in some other city as well.
Yeah, that would be a nice idea. I can certainly compare that to the journey of Austria. I don't want to give their game away, but I know for many years it was just clubs in Vienna, and then suddenly there was expansion into some of the major cities of the rest of Austria, not just in Vienna. So may follow a similar pattern to have that in the future for Slovenia as well. Which would be the next major city, do you think, that or region or area that should have or could have a club?
Well, I believe that the city of Maribor and the city of Koper.
Okay.
We already tried there, but unfortunately it didn't last long. So maybe another try will have better results. I don't know, but those 2 cities, I believe that they have a chance to have a club.
Sure. So anybody living in those cities or knows someone from those cities who's a Toastmaster, we ought to push and prod and see if we can find maybe the local universities or higher technical education, businesses. Maybe there's a corporate headquarters for a particular company in those areas as well. So thank you all for your insights into Toastmasters in Slovenia. I'd actually like to turn our attention now to Slovenia itself. I regret to say that having lived in Austria now for 7 years, I haven't visited Slovenia, but I have many Slovenians as personal friends in my life, some living in Australia, in fact, and some living in Slovenia through a group that I'm involved with. And I found them to be very warm and supportive. So how would you describe, Katarina, the people and culture of Slovenia?
I can say people here are kind and open, and also, as you said, supportive and warm. And I believe we like connections in families, friendships, also communities like Toastmasters. And I would say Slovenians are really active and successful people. We have some great great sports people who are great at sports and businesses. And I could also say the culture. We like hiking. This is one. We are a small country, but we have mountains. We have coast. We have everything really close in the time of 1 to 2 hours. And I think people like nature here, hiking, and also in our Toastmasters community, we have a lot of hikers, and we have also a group for hiking. So many times we make trips to mountain. So
that sounds good.
One of the
Yeah, we have a lot of hikers in Vienna as well. We should start a hiking club on our borders somewhere. Come down to Graz, and you guys can come across, and then we could meet on a mountaintop with our Toastmasters colleagues. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yes,
great. Yeah. So hiking, that sounds good. And if I were to visit Slovenia, Ljubljana or Maribor, other places, or maybe other parts of the country. So what I'd like to know for our viewers tonight, what are some of the major destinations that people could visit, Andrej, if they're taking a weekend trip or a week or so? Where should they really, tick that list? Yep, I've been there in Slovenia.
Wow, it's one thing about Slovenia, it's compact, which is super nice for a short trip. So depending on the time of the year, depending on personal preferences, I guess depending on the weather, there is absolutely so much to do for anybody and everybody. So just being inside or visiting around our beautiful capital is Ljubljana is a great place to a great time well spent. If somebody likes to go to the mountains, it just happens to be that yesterday we were on a hiking trip from this group, and we were very, very much on the border with Austria, literally. So,
amazing.
Yeah, small place, and it took us an hour from the capital to get there.
Yes.
If somebody likes the seaside, we actually have a beautiful coastline. I mean, it's small, it's tiny, but it can be quite lovely. And of course, Bled, which is, I'm pretty sure, very familiar to anybody who will Google Slovenia. There's an even bigger lake, slightly less known, called Bohinj. Very, very beautiful and slightly less populated with tourists. The nature is just wonderful everywhere and anywhere. And if it's a particularly rainy day, and if somebody wants to step outside of our city, there are caves. Postojnska cave comes to mind, and many things anybody can do.
Wow, it sounds like we could spend a good week together, certainly getting out into nature, hiking. I like the sound of the caves. We're not far from the coast, so I'm sure we could explore the delights of the sea. which brings me to food. And I'd like to ask, in other episodes, we've certainly discussed the cuisine of each country. So, Brigita, I'd like to ask you, what are some of the most popular or best known dishes that I could consider tasting if I was to visit Slovenia?
My favorite topic. And I will start with dessert. The traditional dessert in Slovenia is so-called potica. And we definitely eat that dessert during the Christmas time and all the festive times. On Sundays or of festive meals, the beef soup with noodles is usually served, followed by a wide variety of meats, pork, beef, chicken, turkey, and we are also known for sausages. If you go a bit around, you can also find Prekmurska gibanica, a pastry from Prekmurje region, made of 8 layers, something very, very good. And also, let's say, prosciutto from Karst and so on. I mean, there is many more typical Slovenian dishes that are not really translatable. So, David, the best way is to come here and try it by yourself.
Absolutely. And so are there restaurants, or I guess there's a restaurant that we could go to that's traditional Slovenian food and maybe experience that as well. Is there anything particularly mentioned for Christmas, this special dessert as well? Is there anything at Christmas time or this festive time of the year that Slovenians enjoy as well?
Well, it's potica, as I said.
Potica.
It's pretty usual on the table.
Okay.
And also...
Is that homemade?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah. I mean,
so like maybe, Omas, grandmas, and generations passing down a special recipe or their recipe?
Absolutely. I mean, you can buy it as well, but that's not the real one.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah,
it's like a homemade, here in Austria, homemade apple strudel or something like that. You can really taste the difference between that. And Katarina, you mentioned certainly some prominent sports stars or athletes before, but I'd like to ask you about famous Slovenians. And I did a little bit of research, and I noticed many tennis players, a composer, Hugo Wolf, who's long passed away, a philosopher was the number 1 on the list, and of course Melania Trump. But I wanted to ask, in your opinion, who are some of the most prominent Slovenians?
Yes, we have some good athletes and sports players. For example, if you watch basketball, you might know Luka Doncic and Goran Dragic. They are really famous.
Okay.
Then also philosopher Slavoj Žižek, he's famous. And of course, we are really known because of Melania Trump. She comes from Slovenia, from the other region, Dolenjska, it's called. And some other. We also have some great businessmen. From the one who founded Pipistrel and Ivo Baccaroli and Akrapovic. I think this is also really known.
Amazing. Right. So, prominent people in culture to inspire, I guess, the rest of your country to do great things as well. So finally, as we're here in Europe in winter, I also read that Slovenia is the home to some of Europe's most finest ski resorts. And Andrej mentioned before hiking and some of the lakes that are also available. So do you all ski? And is this an important part of Slovenian culture? So whoever would like to answer may do so.
I don't ski, and I guess I am a bit outsider because, yes, the skiing is the Slovenian let's say, like national sport. So I will pass the word to Andrej and Katarina if you know better where to go to ski.
I don't do alpine skiing. I started cross-country skiing. It's wonderful. I find it, 2 hours of cross-country skiing and you're done for the day. That's my cup of tea. But I don't have fond memories of skiing as a child. My parents didn't ski. I didn't ski. So it was just not meant to be, I guess.
And Katarina?
I do snowboarding, but I didn't do it for a while now. And I would suggest to go to Kranjska Gora. There is a famous ski resort, and also you have a lot of mountains here. You can go for a walk around, and there is also a lake, Jasna. So I think this would be the best suggestion for someone who would like to spend winter time somewhere in Slovenia.
Yeah, wonderful. And why not? So if you're around, if you're a skier, I'm Australian, so living now in Austria, I should ski, but I think at my age, it might be a little bit late. Not so much for my kids. So thank you, Brigita, Katarina, and Andrej for your insights tonight. And we wish you well as Toastmasters, as part of District 109, and know that Slovenia is going to play a very capable part in that, and with the help of the three of you as well. We welcome you to District 109, and we look forward to building connections and getting to know you all a little bit more as members throughout our conferences and contests as we move forward. So before we say goodbye tonight, is there a saying or a quote or something that you can teach us in Slovenian that might be helpful either for this time of the year or for when we visit your clubs?
Well, since we are just before the Christmas and New Year evening, I will say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, which will be in Slovenian language. Vesel Božič in srečno novo leto.
Okay. Vesel Božič in sretno novo leto. Oh, no, you didn't say that, did you? Oh, good. So what did you say that meant again? You say it one more time for us, please, Brigita.
Vesel Božič in srečno novo leto.
Wonderful. And what does that mean in English for those who don't understand Slovenian, like I?
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Wonderful. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well, Brigita, Katarina, and Andrej. So with that, we say thank you for those who've been watching and reaching as we reach the end now of our interview. So have a lovely weekend, everyone, and enjoy the lead up to the festive season and the new year. This has been another episode of Tales of Toastmasters. Bye for now.